Well, now, let me address this question that I always receive all the time. All right. Hey, good Joseph, is money market fund safe in terms of my investment? Is treasury bill safe? Is treasury bond safe? By the way, is my money secured? And all those kind of things. And by the way, guess what? Those are legit questions and I love them. I love when people ask me questions. Those are great things. And by the way, if you have any question out there you'd like me to address in a video like this one, put it out there. Kitu ambacho ungependa nizungumzie. That's Swahili for those who don't understand it. It means whatever you'd like me to talk about, put it on the comment section. I'll make a video out of it. So how safe are these investments that Joseph usually talk about? Okay, now let me just explain this point. But before I do that, anyway, consider hitting that like button and also subscribing. Okay, what's the importance? Because I know you're like, okay, how if I just ignore? No. See, when you subscribe to this channel, you get me notified whenever I upload a new good video. That's the good thing about it, all right? So let's get into the business now. See, what happens on this investment? These are great areas of investments, okay? Now, let me just explain the complexity of these areas of investment. Because this is what we say. When we talk about investments, guess what we say? They usually have what? Low risks, and they have what? Low returns. All right? Did I say they have no returns, or rather no risks? Obviously, there's nothing on earth that is risk-free. And if you ever come across somebody who is selling you an idea of investment, they're telling you it is risk-free, no risk. Bro, sister, run. You're about to be scammed. There's nothing that is like that. So what we do, we go to that has low risks, okay? Now, investment and the bills and bonds and money market funds, stocks and shares forever fall under this kind of a category whereby they have low risks. What do we mean by low risk? Maybe if I was to give it like a percentage, I would say it's like 99% sure that your money gonna be safe, or 98% sure that your money gonna be safe. Okay? Now, how safe are they? This is how safe they are, and this is how complex they are. So when we talk about T-bills, all right, and bonds, on this matter, we are talking about lending government your money. Lending government your what? Your money. And if you're Kenyan watching this video, some people ask me, hey, do you trust the current regime? Like, is our money safe and all those kind of... Remember one thing, there is a difference between a president and presidency. You get the thing. For example, let me ask a very simple question. Kenya borrowed from China to build SGR, that is Standard Gauge Railway, under the Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. Does it mean now if he gets out of power, Kenya should not pay China because it's the Uhuru Kenyatta who borrowed? No. The system remains. The agreement remains. So if today, even if you lend the government, then this is the president gets off the office and then someone kicks in, the government is mandated to pay back the loans that they have borrowed, whether the internal or the external. By the way, let me explain. When we talk about treasury bills and bonds, these are internal debts. These are internal debts. In any given country, there are two types of debts. We have the internal and external. External is when government goes out there and borrows in terms of a euro bond. All right, where they borrow in terms of dollars, in terms of euros, in terms of pounds. But when the government borrows or the government is in need of its own currency in that given country, government floats the bills and the bonds to get the local currency. All right, so this is how complicated it is for you to actually lose money using the bonds and the bills investment unless the government collapses. By the way, since 1963, when the government of Kenya became a country, or sovereign country, should I say. I don't know what we were before then. I don't know who told us that from 1960, that's when we became a country. No, it's when we were told that we are a country. We were existing before anyway. Fine, let me say from 1963, the government of Kenya has never collapsed. We have never experienced that. Everything has been okay. We don't have any cases of people who have ever invested on bonds and bills until to date that they have track record of their money got lost or something of sort. They're always like, hey, you know what? I don't know why, but still the money is still there. I don't know what the money. But do you know what it means by the government to collapse for you to lose your money? First of all, it means the government is not in a position to pay even teachers. The government is not in a position even to pay the police officers, paying even the soldiers, that the militaries. Very great people who take care of countries. And also, the government is not even able to pay the civil. I mean, you know, collapsing of a government, it means even the money that is in your account, in a bank account, is not even safe when a government collapses. I repeat my point. I just want to show you how complex it is. And by the way, that now allows me to introduce the other thing about the money market fund. And you might hear some people saying this, hey, you know what? I don't trust the government. I would rather invest my money on a money market fund rather than invest on the government bonds and bills. You know what? Those companies that get money for the money market fund companies, they invest on the bills and bonds. Even the money that you have in your bank, that liquid cash that usually go to that teller and deposit and say, hey, guess what? You'll stay with that money and you go home. That money, the government, the bank does not put that money in a vault somewhere underground. Let me explain this, people, because some of the people don't understand what goes on. For example, if today I show up with 100,000, in a bank, and I tell them, keep this money for me, because obviously I can't keep it under the mattress. The bank does not take the money and put it underground. Why? They need to pay the police officers, they need to pay those tellers, they need to pay all those accountants, or everybody, they need to be paid. Therefore, that money is a liability. They take that money, they invest it through a fractional reserve. 10% of it is what is remained. The other is actually invested. And one areas where the banks invest is treasury bills and bonds. Can you imagine now if government collapses? Even the bank itself, if we show up to a bank and we want to withdraw our money, the money is not there. Why? Because the government has collapsed. So this money market fund, again, you realize that, okay, money market, treasury bills and bonds, those are one of the areas where they invest. Also the FDS, the fixed deposit investments, the commercial paper, all this it's a complex structure that is intertwined. It connects to each other. Some people say, hey, I just want to put my money into circles, because some of the circles, they end up, actually, I think most of the circles, they even invest on these treasury bills and bonds. So it's a complexity of institutions. If one institution crumbles, that is the government bills and bonds. Everything below that collapses. Even your money that is in a bank account is not safe. So you can just imagine how complex it is. It is very complex to actually lose money. And I'm not saying overall it's not possible. It is, but to a point whereby now you can say, I've lost all the money. You see, my money is not there. I cannot. It means that everything has actually collapsed. And by the way, the government, well, I do not know who regulates the government. Maybe the opposition. The government is regulated and checked and balanced by the opposition. But when it comes to the money market fund and such, we have a body that regulates these companies called CMA. That is according to Kenya. I do not know if you're watching this from Zimbabwe. Maybe I do not know what the body regulates the unit trust in your country. Go check it out. In Kenya, we call it CMA, Capital Market Authority of Kenya. All right. Now, this CMA ensure that these money market fund companies, they invest under law. They are supposed to invest in 3 areas. Okay. That is the bills, the commercial paper, commercial, is it commercial paper? Not commercial, composite paper, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, composite paper, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can correct me on the comment section. The other thing, they invest on something called FDS. Okay, FDS, that fixed deposit investment. Composite or commercial paper, check the name. I don't know whether it's composite or commercial, something also. This is a paper that is floated by companies when they want to secure securities. Okay, see, in the world of finance, money is called security. All right. So when companies want to get some cash to run their day-to-day activities, they front the commercial paper, composite or commercial, whatever. Check it out. Okay. So that they can be able to get the money, so that they can be able to fund their activities. So by law, they're supposed to invest in these areas, but not only these 3 areas. There are some other areas that these companies, they can be able to invest the money. All right. And you might have some companies, maybe if the company misbehaves and invests outside these areas of securities, therefore the money market fund is not, or that company is actually, the license can actually be revoked. You get what I'm saying? So there is that whole body regulates that specific company for the investment, and the government itself, again, it's run by systems. There is a judiciary, there is executive, there is legislature, and all those kind of areas. Before we borrow a certain amount of money, that has to be passed in the parliament, and obviously you elected that member of parliament who's supposed to make a right decision. That's why I always tell people, when you're voting, make sure that you vote right people who are on the right mind. Whenever they go there, they represent you as your constitute or constituency, so that when they're making a decision out there, it's basically your reflection, is what you would wish to happen out there. But I don't know. I stand corrected. I do not know to what extent this information is usually followed out there, but I'm not here to talk about politics. The point is this. The question is, are these areas safe? Yes. If you ask me, yes. By the way, if there is any safe and secured investment that you can ever do, not only in Kenya, but in any given country, obviously a stable country. I'm not referring to the countries that are crumbling. I'm not referring to the countries that are ungovernable as we speak. I'm referring to countries that are stable and such kind of a thing. You can take the advantage. And guess what? There are safer areas of investments. And the question is this: should you go and invest all the money that you have in one specific area? Hell no. I did not say that. You're not supposed to go and get all your money in a bank or whatever the place it is, or sell your properties and maybe get, you get what I'm saying? You're supposed to diversify. Have a little bit of money into an MMF, have a little another one into a treasury bills and bonds, because you can have an MMF that, yeah, maybe they have some other investment that they have out there. Maybe they have some cash, maybe reserved in because this MMF, again, what you're supposed to understand, by law, they are supposed to have one, a trustee bank. Two, this MMF, they have supposed to have a custodian, right? So they're supposed to have those two things in them so that at least they can make sure that whatever the money they are getting to invest, that has to go through this board of management to understand where are they investing this money, okay? So the point is this: the good thing that you can never do with your money is to diversify. You have a little bit of money in a business, you have a little bit money into a money market fund, you have a little bit money into stocks and shares, because when you invest in certain areas like stocks and shares, those are the independent companies. For example, if you invest in a company X runs their own policies, have their own understandings and all those kind of things. So you actually gotten yourself off the system. If you have some little bit money, maybe let's say in commodities like gold, like platinum, you know, you have invested in things like oil. You are invested in stable currencies like the Swiss franc, the Great Britain pound, the Japanese yen. If you invest your money, if you have the capacity, that is, if you can be able to diversify all your investment, if maybe you can invest in some expensive jewelries, maybe some paintings. Some people do invest their money in paintings. Maybe you can have some lands, some properties, real estate. So if you have the capacity to diversify in all those areas, that will be the best thing, because hey, guess what? Your money is not only in one specific location, but diversified, and it's all over the place. And that way we say, hey, guess what? You're not only doing the good thing, but you're doing the best thing whenever it comes to your money. Never put all your eggs in one basket. But this is the answer, the ultimate answer to the question: are they safe? Absolutely yes. They are safe and secured for your investment. Did I say they're 100% risk-free? No, I did not say that. There is nothing on earth that is risk-free, even your life. You cannot assure me that tomorrow morning you'll be alive, for God's sake. You do not know that. We kind of live in this world by the grace of God and luck. Sure, that's true. That's how we live and that's how we survive. Anyway, guess what, guys? Thank you very much for watching this video. Let's see you in the next one. But never forget, if you would like to get a customized or tailored information as far as the investments are concerned, grab that number from the comment section, not really comment section, but rather on the description of this specific video. Shoot me a call and let's get to discuss. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one. And don't forget to hit that like button.